Gotenks is a character that has evolved a lot throughout this game. Initially, he was an extremely annoying anchor that could set up easy 50-50 mixes with his assist. But he fulfilled each role of a team by being a worthy point and secondary as well. Gotenks initially was a character that was a mixing machine. He had reliable high-low mixes as well as a very strong pressure game. And don't even get me started on Ghost Loki. But in Season 3, after some nerfs and overall gameplay balances, Gotenks has lost a little bit of his luster. Or has he? Well, Gotenks isn't necessarily the mix machine that he used to be due to certain abilities receiving landing lag and other changes to his kit. Gotenks still flourishes at any position. With Gotenks' A assist being strong and now having an incredibly strong beam C assist, we see that Gotenks can still be an awesome secondary or anchor. I have played Gotenks as a main since day one of Dragon Ball FighterZ and have placed him everywhere on my team. Right now he resides as my point character, and I'd like to give you guys a rundown of how I play Gotenks. Please keep in mind, this character can and should be played in a variety of different ways. I am not the end-all, be-all, say-all source of Gotenks at all. One of the objectives I have of making this is actually seeing and pointing out the flaws in my own gameplay. I want to get better. And in me getting better, I also want others to get better. My hope is to teach people how to play against the character, play as the character, and hopefully open up more tech for the character. First, I will touch on neutral, which is ironically where I am weakest. But Gotenks isn't weak in neutral. He actually is able to win neutral and thrive in neutral. Aside from his awesome specials, he has some really good buttons. And even more so, Gotenks has a few moves and a few special abilities that make him plus. And being plus on a move, especially without being meter, is very, very strong. So let's jump into what his neutral is. One of Gotenks' biggest buttons, one of his best buttons, is his jumping heavy, his JH. His JH has a huge hitbox, and not only that, it has a huge downward hitbox. So you can throw it out in neutral, especially during round start, when you want kind of a safe option, and it's a good way to go. If you IAD or instant air dash back into JH, it is it's a pretty safe option, and not only that, it'll most times just straight up beat super dash. Another good option in neutral is his JL, or his jumping light. And the reason, it doesn't look like it's a very great button because it doesn't have great range, but it is active for so long, and it's 3 hits. So it's a very good button to throw out. Maybe not throw out, but it's a very good button to have in the arsenal. The next button that we're going to go over is Gotenks' 2M. I love his 2M. His 2M is deceptively long and it's pretty fast. One of my favorite things to do with 2M is after you get knocked down and the opponent tries to do an IAD, a crossover, I delay wake up, and once they cross over, I hit with a 2M. More often than not, or a lot of times, you surprise an opponent and you get a full punish. Another great aspect of 2M is its ability to clash with Super Dash. One thing that I actually learned while filming this is how strong 5M is against Super Dash. As you see, it's clashing, and sometimes it even trades with Super Dash. 5M was a button that I initially thought kind of sucked, but knowing that it is decent against Super Dash, it's another option that you have against Super Dash, is really a motivating thing to see. So here, all I am doing is showing you guys the comparison between 2M and 5M range. 2M just has better range, and it is a button that I use a lot more. Next button we're going to go over is 2H, and 2H is just a really good button. Be sure to use it. You can set up some really crazy frame traps with 2H, but it's just a really good button. So use 2H, it catches everything. Now in neutral, here are some of his weaker buttons. His 5L and 2L are kind of whack. His 5L brings him forward a little bit, his 2L doesn't really move him forward, but there's absolutely no range on him. His 5H though is really cool. His 5H shoots him forward a little bit, which is pretty cool. His 5H can be wound up, as you can see right here, and when it's wound up you actually are plus, and depending on how far back you are, you can be more plus. So from max range you actually have six frames of advantage. Going over his air normals, man, his JL, like I said, is okay. His JM is kind of whack. If you look at his JM after an instant air dash, it totally whiffs small opponents. So just be cautious and be aware of this. Next, we're going to go over his specials. First, we're going to hit Beyblade 214L, or his 214 series. It's really strong, round opening. As you can see, there's some pretty cool cross-up stuff that you can do with it. But Beyblade has definitely been nerfed. It's been nerfed because it gets beat to Super Dash now. In Season 2, you would jump in the air, Beyblade all the way down, and they can't really do anything until maybe the very end of it to Super Dash into it. But now it gets completely beat by Super Dash. So Beyblade, try not to use it too much in neutral when there's a threat of Super Dash. One thing that is good about Beyblade though is that it still beats Ki Blast, so make sure to let it rock sometimes. Next we have his 236 series, which is infinitely better. Just use it. Especially his 236H. It's really strong because one, it's plus on block, but also it's good to get away. His other specials, he has Donut, which sucks kind of in neutral, and he has Die Missile Barrage, which sucks as well in neutral. What he does have though is a dope beam. It's a great beam because you have air actions after the beam, so you can cancel things, but also you are able to feint very quickly with the beam. The biggest problem with the beam though is that there is extra landing lag, so we don't really have a high-low mix anymore. Next we go into one of my favorite buttons or special moves that he has, and it's his jumping special. His jumping special is so strong because it provides you with so much crazy mobility. It lets you set up and do the things that you want to do, so please use it. Next, we're going to get into another one of Gotenks' strengths, and that's his ability to cancel a special into another special. This is really good because it sets up a lot of ambiguous mix-ups. It also sets up a lot of frame traps, so definitely use it. One thing that you do need to note though is that you are not able to do his Beyblade in the air. You cannot cancel into another Beyblade, so just be wary of that. Getting back into Gotenks' 2H, he actually has a really cool option out of this. He has multiple options out of this once you get your opponent in block stun. You can cancel into any of his aerial specials. This is really good because it leaves you with the opportunity to open up your opponent more. Now, there is some good and some bad with this, okay? You can do Super Dash as an opponent, and it will beat his Die Missile Barrage. But his Die Missile Barrage will beat any button other than Super Dash. And again, if you think that they are going to 2H, you use Die Missile Barrage. You think that they are going to Super Dash, use any other one of the specials. So this is a really cool option that Gotenks players need to use. Next, we're going to get into Gotenks' auto combo, and his auto combo is super dope. It leaves you with pretty ambiguous 50-50 mix-ups at times, especially with an assist. And instead of me covering it so much, this has been covered to death by people like Yohozi and so many other Gotenks players. So check their guides out. I will just say I definitely use it very much in my gameplay, so you guys use it too. Next, we're going to get into Gotenks' reflect-proof strings. his string is 5L into 2M. What that's going to do is if you just reflect the 5L, the 2M will hit. If you just reflect the 5L and try to press a button, the 2M will hit and lead to some crazy damage. So definitely use it. If they reflect both, you can stay on them with 236H, or you can just block. Use it. Next, I'm gonna very slightly touch on combos. I don't use 6S combos much anymore because it misses out on a little bit of damage. I mainly use the 2M into his Die Missile Barrage, which you guys see here. I like this combo a lot. Please use it because it is so damaging. Moving on from combos, we're gonna shoot over into snap options. Gotenks is one of the few characters left with the ability to cover all snap timings. You can cover all snap timings using his 214M into either 214L or 214H. And both of those will work. You should use 214H because it covers the delay better. From here, I'm just going to show you guys some of the timings and some of the things that you can do in order to cover all of your options. I even have some options of the opponent if they just jump immediately. So you're not able to do 214M into 214L if they delay and jump immediately. They do super dash, you get blown up. But you get the gist. 214M into 214H and you cover timings. Just make sure they don't have enough meter for level 3. Next, I'm going to give you guys some basic Oki advice after level 3. And the basic advice is do not try and set up ghosts after your level 3 because it's fake. It's not going to work. Some opponents don't know that this doesn't work, and so you can get them just blocking the first ghost. But if they mash vanish, or if they level 3 or do any kind of invincible move that can get to you, you are gonna be hit because Gotenks is a showboater. But you can do, a couple other things outside of level 3. So just explore, experiment. What I'm gonna go into next is I'm gonna show you guys kind of a good sequence, or excuse me, a bad sequence first of Gotenks and a good sequence from round start each. One of the things that you guys are going to see about this, I'm constantly trying to get full screen because I have a beam, I have fireballs, and that's something that I want in my gameplay. I want to be able to abuse the specials that I have, and I want to be able to use 6S and jumping S to kind of maneuver. One of the reasons why I snapped right there is because I hate hit and I have no clue how to play against hit, so I want hit dead first. But I miss a lot of stuff. Stuff just isn't utilized properly in this gameplay here. Another thing I will add, for my sake and my opponent's sake, we are playing online and China's internet is not the greatest, so bear that in mind with some of the sloppy play. I need to use Spark, but I'm able to get the kill after Spark. So I'm going to show you a good sequence. I'm going to show you a sequence that myself as a Gotenks player wants. So we maneuver, again, using 6H and using a falling JH to get the super dash that's coming. Then we have a very high damaging combo here what do? We are going to not set up the Oki, but I didn't need to set up Ghost Oki because I didn't want him to spark out. And so we have this here, and it's a good sequence. So to kind of round my video up, what I'm showing you guys is I'm not giving you guys a guide to Ghost Oki because other players have done it and can probably explain it so much better than myself. Subatomic Sabers, I know, has made a really dope guide, so check it out, okay? But the reason that I'm putting this here is I want you guys to see that Ghost Oki can be a sandbox. You can play around with it and you can kind of manipulate it to the way that you want to use it. Make sure you use your negative edge and you hold your buttons. But yeah, just play around with Ghost Oki and, you know, make some crazy stuff up, because Ghost Oki is one of the reasons why Gotenks is still an incredible problem. So I know this was a long video, guys, and I really appreciate you guys sticking to it with me. This is technically another episode of WAIT, What Am I Thinking? And this was definitely a labor of love. I started this with just thinking about, man, what would I do as a Gotenks player? How can I teach people Gotenks? I love this character, and he is one of the reasons why I love this game. I hope you guys continue to follow me, and if you guys want other types of content, other types of videos, let me know. I am always open and I would love to do more stuff. Check out the Gotenks Discord, check out the Gotenks Dragon Ball Fighters hashtag, and let's get strong together. See you guys.